There's nothing more worrying than when you notice your betta fish swimming erratically. There is a whole range of conditions that can cause this. Some of them are good and some of them extremely bad. So keep reading to find out if it's the water quality or if your fish is sick, what erratic swimming looks like and the causes of it, and most importantly, the best steps to take moving forward. Also, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So what does swimming erratically look like? When you first notice your betta swimming in an odd manner, it's perfectly normal to panic, because good or bad, there's going to be a reason for erratic swimming. And there are so many different types of erratic behaviour your betta may exhibit, so it can be hard to really find the answer. Some common swimming behaviours that are a sign of trouble are swimming around in circles, floating and sticking to the surface of the water, twirling or swimming in a corkscrew fashion, swimming upside down, having trouble swimming to the top or sinking to the bottom, and rubbing or banging into things. If you notice any of these symptoms, then your betta could be in a lot of trouble. What are the common causes of a betta fish swimming erratically? If you notice your betta fish swimming erratically, the first thing you need to find out is what's causing the behaviour. Erratic swimming can have many causes ranging from neurological damage to water quality, so it's good to have a base knowledge on all the common causes. Swim bladder disease. While not actually a disease of the swim bladder disease is the name given to problems with a betta swim bladder. This can be caused by all sorts of different issues such as constipation, bacterial infections, birth defects, intestinal parasites and high nitrate levels, nervous system disorders and neurological damage. If your fish is exhibiting signs of erratic swimming, especially circling patterns or whirling, then it could be a nervous system disorder or neurological damage. This could be a birth defect, however it could also be caused by bacteria such as tuberculosis and parasites. Parasites. With a whole host of parasites that can cause harm to your betta fish, it's no surprise that they can be the result of erratic swimming. Parasites can often cause your betta to rub against things in an odd fashion. However, luckily, most parasites can be spotted and if seen early enough, treated as well. Some common parasites include anchorworms, gill flukes, ick and velvet. If you do think that your betta is suffering from parasites, then you should move him to a quarantine tank. Poor nutrition. In the wild, betta fish are carnivores, so they need lots of meat. So you should make sure your betta is getting all the nutrients it needs. If not, he may become weak or constipated, and both outcomes can affect the betta's swimming capabilities. Hypoxia. Often caused by lack of oxygen in your betta's water, hypoxia can cause your fish to swim in an odd way. Most often they will spend a lot of time at the surface of the tank trying to get oxygen. However, it can also be caused by gill disease and anemia. Poor vision. How old is your betta? If they're getting on in years, then their eyesight may be deteriorating naturally. However, poor vision can also be caused by pop eye, cloudy eye and other parasites migrating to the eyes. Poor water quality, and lastly, does your fish tank have good water quality? Bad water quality can cause all sorts of problems, including causing a betta fish to swim erratically. To keep your water quality as good as it can be, you should do the following. Check the pH level is around 7, make sure that there isn't a high ammonia buildup, which can lead to ammonia poisoning, and ensure that there are no sudden temperature changes which can result in temperature shock. Creating the ideal water conditions doesn't have to be hard. How to treat betta fish swimming erratically. Because you can't take your betta to the vet, it's down to you to diagnose and treat your betta. And with that being said, here are a few of the most common ways bettas swim erratically and how to treat it. A betta fish swimming in circles. If you notice your betta is swimming around in circles, then there can be a few causes. Your betta could be stressed. If he's new to your tank, then for the first few days this could be the problem. Or perhaps he can see his own reflection, in which case he's swimming in an aggressive manner to ward off his reflection. If a chemical has been introduced to the water your betta doesn't like, then he could be swimming around in circles. If you've been using cleaning products or air fresheners around your tank, then some might have gotten in. Perhaps as a sign of brain trauma as well, your betta may have hit his head on the glass or a decoration. If this is the case, there's nothing you can do and you just have to wait and see what happens. And lastly, your betta may be swimming in circles if the tank isn't big enough. You may have heard that bettas survive in 1 gallon of water or less, and that is true, but remember the key word is survive. For your betta to be truly happy, you should consider buying a 5-gallon tank or bigger. If you notice your betta swimming in circles, then you may want to try to reduce any reflection in the tank. You can do this by only turning the aquarium light on when the room is light as well. You could also invest in some aquarium background wallpaper to stick on the inside of your tank. If you think it's being caused by a chemical in the water, you may want to wait a while to see if your betta calms down. If he doesn't, then you may need to perform a water change. And if you think that your tank isn't big enough, then you should consider investing in a bigger tank. I'll leave a link to my tank in the description below. A betta swimming upside down, having trouble swimming, twirling or swimming in a corkscrew fashion. If you notice that your betta is swimming upside down or any of the other symptoms listed, then it's most likely swim bladder disease. Luckily, with the right treatment, swim bladder disease is rarely fatal. Here are a few of common causes. One of the most common causes of damage to a Betta's swim bladder is constipation, most often caused by dried pellets and freeze-dried food. You may be feeding your Betta too much and he has now become too bloated to swim properly. If your Betta fish is living with other fish or rough ornaments, then it could have damaged his swim bladder in a fight or by swimming into something. And obviously, there is a whole range of bacterial infections that can cause swim bladder disease as well. And sometimes Bettas are just born with a defective swim bladder. How do you treat a Betta with these symptoms? If you think swim bladder disease is being caused by constipation or bloating, then you should stop feeding your Betta for 1 to 3 days. Also, if you're using dried pellets or freeze-dried food, then soak them in water to make sure they expand to their normal size before being eaten. And lastly, try feeding your Betta Daphnia, which can act as a laxative. If you think swim bladder disease is being caused by a bacterial infection, then you're going to need to treat your Betta with antibiotics. Rubbing or banging into things. If you notice your Betta is rubbing against stuff or banging into things, then you should be aware of the common causes. Oftentimes, rubbing or banging into things can be the result of parasites such as ick, anchorworms, gill flukes, and valva. The good news is that if this is the case, you'll be able to spot the symptoms of each parasite. If you don't notice any external symptoms on your Betta, then it could be caused by ammonia not breaking down fast enough. A high amount of ammonia is more prominent in new tanks or tanks that haven't had their water changed too much. Too much ammonia could begin to irritate your Betta's eyes, gills, and skin, and often leads to ammonia poisoning. If you think that your Betta fish swimming erratically is due to parasites, then you should treat them with an anti-parasitic like API General Cure or aquarium salt. When you think it's due to ammonia, then you should test the water immediately. You can use any test kit, but I love the API Master Test Kit, which I'll leave in the description below. And if you can't do that, you should begin 25% water changes every day until you can. A Betta floating at the surface of the tank. Bettas have to go to the surface of the tank to breathe, but they should never be spending all their time there. If you notice your Betta doing this, then there may be a problem. Your Betta could be floating at the surface of the tank due to a lack of oxygen in the water or trouble getting oxygen from the surface. It could also be due to swim bladder disease. How do you treat this? If you think that it's due to swim bladder disease, then you should follow the advice given previously. However, if it's due to a lack of oxygen, then you should change 75% of the water and treat the new tap water with a water conditioner before adding it. You should also consider adding some live plants to your tank and make sure the filter system is working properly. And lastly, make sure there is enough space between the water surface and the lid of your tank for your Betta to breathe. Is erratic swimming always negative? Just because your Betta is swimming erratically doesn't always mean there's a problem. Sometimes your Betta can be swimming erratically because they're happy or exercising. As well as this, if he's only swimming erratically when he sees you, he could recognise he's about to get food. So the most important thing to be aware of is how your Betta acts normally, and then carefully monitor him. And if something does go wrong, you can give him the best possible treatment. Just to recap, the most common causes of your Betta fish swimming erratically are swim bladder disease, parasites, nervous system disorders and neurological damage, poor vision, hypoxia, water quality and nutrition. When a Betta fish is swimming erratically, they often appear to swim around in circles, float and stick to the surface of the water, twirl or swim in a corkscrew fashion, swim upside down, have trouble swimming to the top or sinking to the bottom, and rub or bang into things. If you found this video helpful, then make sure you subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, have a great day.